What's in your cup?
Protein.
Whole lot of everything. The Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. Sober for right now. So they're having a conversation. And Brandi, your comment is it because of men that we just kind of dismiss things? I feel as though the thing.
No, that's not
men
what
don't
I
like.
said.
You
That's
say
not what I
because
said.
is it because we have dicks, right? Which.
But like that terminology for me is like you recognize that you are a man and what your role is. I'm not talking about bitch ass niggas, and I don't even like to say things like that.
I understand that.
Like
I
you
understand
recognize the maleness of you.
Here's the thing. I'm going to speak for Swivll as well.
Okay.
Men don't like to argue. So we'll dismiss certain things and just say, all right, just let it be. It's not that important. Like, and the thing is, it's not that we're demeaning or belittling the importance of whatever the situation or the topic is just, it doesn't warrant any type of big energy. You know what I'm saying? At least for me, that's exactly what it is. It's like, all right, so for off air, we were talking about, is it pronounced GIF or GIF? I said GIF because I saw a video of the guy that created it that said it's pronounced GIF. Tiana said, well, with the work and the line of profession that she does, they do a lot of work in collaborations with Giphy or Jiffy, and it's pronounced
she
GIF.
proceeded to explain why she knew that it was GIF.
Okay.
And Swivll then proceeds to say it doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter to him. It could not have penetrated Tiana, but it did to me because I get that shit all the time. Where it's like, shut up, I'm over it. We all over it. It's like, wait a minute.
But the thing is, I get it, but it's one of those things to where it's
wait a minute, nigga.
Here's the thing. You can have two. This is one of those instances where you can have two truths at the same time, right? So it's not saying that she's wrong or I'm wrong. Like, both things could be true. The fact that Swivll is making is that everybody knows exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
So
it doesn't matter which way you say
pronounce it.
Yeah.
But she wanted to, but the thing is that she wanted to explain to us how she knew it was important to her. So if it's important to her, then that means that it is important. But here's the thing, she never got to fully get it out before it was so important to him to say what he needed to say.
Yeah, because I saw the length at which the story was going to take for her to explain.
You saw her talk. You saw her talk meter go up because I realized I got a talk meter. It goes. Boop, 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 boop. I'm about to talk your whole head off.
Well, I mean, it's like defusing a bomb before it becomes this thing. You ever see two people arguing about a point and both of them are right?
Yeah.
Like neither one of them are wrong, but they're sitting up there doing this the entire time. Not saying that's what it would have done, but when men do like, okay, it doesn't really matter. That's ultimately what it is. It's not, I don't care. It's just saying like, there's no reason to debate which way is right when everybody is right.
But at this point in time, everybody wasn't right.
Listen, everybody. How is everybody not right?
Because you guys are saying tomato, but that's not really what it is. Because maybe it is actually.
I mean, it almost literally is. Tomato.
It is.
You can make the argument like grammatically what I learned in school. When there's a vowel that follows another vowel, you sound that first vowel out. So technically, according to that, this is what I've learned in school, public schooling. I don't.
Wait, a vowel that follows another vowel.
They turn around.
Public schooling is racist.
So listen,
we don't
I get
support it
because they turned and said that there's only like 5 oceans now. There's only 8 planets. Shit changes. It gets weird,
but I'm
right?
confused. You're talking about a vowel following another vowel. There's only one vowel in the word GIF.
No, I'm talking about tomato now. We've moved on to a whole.
Okay, we're on to tomato.
Yeah. You see how? So this is how. You see how misinformation.
But how many of us are on tomato?
You just said tomato or tomato. So the point that I'm trying to make, hopefully everybody is on the same train now.
They tuned out a long time.
Yeah.
I see clearly.
Nigga, no.
This was important to them, right? So, or at least to Brandi.
It's important to us.
So the point that I'm making is somebody can say, "Oh, it's tomato," but it's like, okay, well, grammatically, it's pronounced tomato because you say the A because there's an O that follows after that A, whatever, right? So it's pronounced tomato. The point of the matter is, it's like, regardless if you say tomato or tomato, you know what it is. You know what we're talking. You know what the person is.
Okay, but by that logic, the word Boston would be Boston.
And it can be Boston or Boston every time they choose, because it's tomato or tomato.
If you go to Boston, they pronounce it Baston. So I don't know. You know where it's at? It's in Massachusetts.
I'm done.
All I know
about but if something so my thing is, it wasn't you was on the tomato thing, and I was on the something was important to somebody and something else was more important to somebody else, so they felt like they needed to express theirs first. And that's where I was at with it. Not saying Swivll was doing that to Tiana, because I said I was the one triggered. You know what I'm saying? So it's
that was a classic Swivll move. That was classic Swivll. Like,
it was just
that was classic Swivll as far as it doesn't matter. Like that's all Swivll. Because I will be like launching into something, or I'll say something to him, and he won't even answer me. Like, I'll be like, "Oh, so you didn't hear me?" And he just like looks at me blankly.
Yeah.
All I know, GIF or GIF, neither one of them is peanut butter, so I don't freaking care. Like, let's just move on and because you know what I mean. Like, it's not gonna fill my stomach.
I'd like to reiterate.
Everybody knows what we're talking about. However it's pronounced, it don't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'd like to reiterate to the audience that until this moment, right here, everyone on this call was sober. This is an actual sober conversation that we're having. It may not seem like it.
It really is.
But it is. It is.
No, it's a very sober conversation. And I'm very serious about it. And I still stand by the fact that she had something important to say. He slid right up in that shit. Shut it up.
He's not the enemy. He's not the enemy. The true enemy here is the English language.
I will wholeheartedly agree with enemy being the English language.
The English language is
English
flawed.
is the enemy. I was just having this conversation with Ava today. We walked down to downtown Huntington to have us, some little mommy Ava lunchtime. And we had a whole conversation about how evil the
See, you pronounce her name Ava, not Ava.
But you guys are, you see, my thing is you stuck on the motherfucking enunciation, and it's not about that. It was not about that. My initial turn up was not about, my initial turn up was, damn.
You shut it
up. Shut it up. It ain't that deep. Let's keep moving. What we doing? And I'm like, damn. I get that all the time. I get that so much that I was like, do I talk? No, I was told this. I talk so much that after about 45 minutes of just listening to me talk, it's like I get to pick and choose what I'm about to answer, because it's like you talk so much. You've been talking 20 minutes straight. It's not fair.
You do be. And the thing is, right? It's not even directed towards.
So this is everybody. You guys are
Tiana.
now the last people in my life that has checked the box of I talk a lot. Okay, got it.
We all do. Everybody does. But the thing is, it wasn't just directed at Tiana. It was also towards me, because being a Scorpio, I have a habit of proving my point. Not necessarily discrediting hers, but basically proving a point of I'm right. So by him diffusing that, wasn't just directed towards her, it was to eliminate me going, no, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm about to Google this video.
He saw where it was going.
To try to show, look, here's the creator of the thing saying that it's this. It will prove that I'm right, but it's also still, hey, bootylicious wasn't in the English dictionary 20 years ago.
So
even
for those
Snoop said it in 93. You know what I'm saying? Ain't wasn't in the dictionary 60 years ago. It is now. There's certain words, irregardless wasn't a word, still isn't a word, but has been said so much that it now becomes a reality. Whether you say Jif or Gif, Jiffy peanut butter or Giffy peanut butter, whether you say Boston, Baston, or Boston, you know what.
Okay, so what about for those of us that is gonna miss that point, that awesome thing? Oh, how great! He was he just diffused situation, and they're in their feelings like, oh, you just cut me off. So my shit's not important like that. What about us that feel that? Because you see where I was totally somewhere else.
So it's
my ego.
Is it safe to say that could fall in line with the ego? That could be an egotistical thing. You know what I'm saying? Of thinking like, oh, this is about me. What about my film? Because ultimately, and this is clearly beyond where we started, right? You look at American society, right? And specifically culture, right? It's like we've been left out and excluded from so many different things and try to reintegrate ourselves in it to the point to where now it's like it gets flipped to where, yes, Tiana.
This is what I was trying to avoid, right about here.
I'm just gonna.
This is great. This is great. This is
really?
TKPS.
You know what I'm about
After
to
dark.
Just go ahead.
I would like to formally say.
He said he wanted to avoid it.
I would like to formally say that I was wrong. It's pronounced Jif. Foz was correct. So I Googled it because this whole conversation could have been completely avoided had Swivll not said anything, and I just
I would have had
I said had Swivll not said anything.
I would have asked Tiana. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tiana is a guidance counselor, and she is my coach. Okay. And I would have called you on my separate shit and been like, girl, he said, she said, they said, everybody said, and what about me? And now it's the same shit. So we just getting this on camera real quick.
All right, bet.
The thing is too though,
Scott.
Like, technically, although yes, I'm right, to my point, it's almost like GIF is the appropriate pronunciation simply because that's commonly used and said.
Oh,
indeed. However,
initially pronounced GIF, but
yes. So I'm gonna read this like 4 lines. As Scott notes, American computer scientist Steve Wilty coined the acronym. Wilty led the CompuServe team that invented the GIF, the now widely used moving image format, blah, 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 blah. He says it's a soft G pronunciation and it's a deliberate reference to Jif peanut butter.
Ha!
Ha, what? I literally just said I was wrong.
No, my reference to peanut butter.
No, but he was saying Jiffy.
He made that reference. He said Jiffy. He was like, yeah, it's not Jiffy peanut butter. Like he said Jiffy peanut butter. So that was something. He said something that was totally clever.
Okay. He's a ha. I'm like, wait, I've already said I was wrong. Like you didn't. So yes, everybody, I was wrong. I admit it. It's a soft.
At this point, it isn't about right or wrong.
So there you go.
There's that. But back to the thing, the real thing. Because I turned up, and you said it's the ego.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
I said it was. I said it could be ego. You know what I mean? Like people involving themselves with things that, and this again is speaking on a broader sense of like American society, involving themselves with things that don't even necessarily apply to them, right? Or having an opinion about things that it's like, bro, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Why are you trying to catch this fade? Like, why do you want these blunders so bad when it doesn't, like, you don't have a say in what, prime example, abortion laws. Like, why are you, like, how are you so egotistical and stuck in your ways as a man, as somebody that has a position of power, that you have to try to involve yourself in something that you know nothing about, it doesn't even include you?
Yeah.
I count that to ego.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, aren't most or even all power trips attributed to ego? Like they're all egotistical. I feel like almost the entire political game is based on ego.
Absolutely. And based on this book that I read by Eckhart Tolle, it's called Awakening to Life's Purpose, A New Earth. it classifies identity as ego. So it's deeper than just, pride or this arrogance that, people walk around with. He accredits and identifies it as, this facade that you put on to appear to be something other than your true, authentic self. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like,
Well, and I'll even take you one further based on, Eckhart Tolle's idea about that is everyone sees you in a different light. So not only art is your individualism based in ego, but if you consider it, we have multiple individualities, right? So like Swivll knows me in one light. Brandi knows me in a different way. You might know me in a different way. My coworkers at work may see me in a different way. So technically, I've got multiple personalities out there. All are real, but they're all very different. And so then you have to start to question which one is truly who you are. And can you be all, or are you not really any of them, singularly?
They say you're multidimensional people. We're multidimensional in that perspective is only based on the emotion that you are in when you're perceiving it. So in that, if you look at it like that, you can look at it all these different emotions that you could potentially have or whatever.
No, Brandi, you absolutely right, because I was getting ready to go down this existential, like really big cosmic type of, because there's also different variants. You know what I'm saying? So it's deeper than how Tiana may act, or I'll make it personal. It's different than how I may act and communicate with Brandi or Swivll and Tiana individually, right? That gives me 3. But then what are your perceptions of me within your own mind? Which then is something totally different. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different version of each of us that lives inside the minds of people that we come across that don't even apply to us. Mm-hmm. Which leads to disappointment. You know what I mean? It leads to a whole bunch of things, because then people expect, I expected you to be this way. Well, that's not who I am. Yeah. You expect me to show up when really I'm inclusive. I don't even like people. I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like this job. How did you expect me to show up to? You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes that kind of conversation. How did you expect me to do a great job when I don't have a passion for it? Oh, because in your mind, you expected me to live up to these expectations because you've already mapped out an extensive amount of time within your mind of who I am or what I'm supposed to be. You know,
and so it's relational too. You know, Swivll sees me as the wife. You see me as the friend. Brandi might see me as the guy. Ava sees me as the mom, right? Shuri sees me as the source of food. That's our cat. So, you know, it's, you know, my coworkers see me as the coworker. Any of my subordinates might see me as the boss. Other people might see me as the author, so on and so forth. So, you know, you're multifaceted as an individual, but each of the ways that you interact with someone determines how they perceive you. And then you have to question, is your personality something that you put out there, or your individuality something that you put out there? Or is it something that others put out there for you? So it becomes like a very like existential, to be or not to be.
It really is right? That. Which is crazy, you know, and it's crazy because, again, two separate things that could be potentially conflicting, right, can also be true. Like it gets into like a very paradoxical, I don't even know if that's the correct term, but it's almost like a paradox, right, where these two things that are conflicting can exist at the same time and both be true. Yeah. So going back to exactly what happened, to where Swivll does something because he foresees whatever is about to happen, he wants to avoid it, right? He wants to avoid getting deeper into something that it doesn't matter. Triggers Brandi. And it's like both of those things are true. They're very, you know, you're basically living in a parallel universe to where neither one of you are wrong, But then it's almost like, okay, but what is the absolute truth at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel so when we remove self, which again, it's one of those things to where by him cutting it off, it allows for the moment of self-reflection to be like, you're right. Because I had that moment to where it was like, get ready to grab my phone, but it's like, everybody calls it a gift though. Like, I'm pretty sure if I went up to somebody and said, yo, send me that GIF, more likely than not in our culture, they won't know what I'm talking about. But if you say gift, they'll know. Oh yeah, that's a little moving. Oh yeah, I'll send you a gift right now. Because that's, again, a flawed American English. It's stupid.
Like, and then I read something where it's like trying to Swivll trying to cut it off was almost like there was something that was going to happen regardless in another time, and it was going to happen regardless. And for me, like, my shit was going to happen regardless with other people, where it was going to be like, damn, it's really not about you in that statement, or, you know, all of this was going to happen regardless. And then also, it's almost like those things that we really be trying to avoid because we're thinking about it so much, we're calling it, and it's going to happen. We're bringing it.
Real talk. Everything that you just said was me a year ago around this time. Like, if we go back, and I keep reliving it because us recording, I remember this time last year, my temper was definitely boiling. Because of all of the social issues that were happening with George Floyd, you know, Breonna Taylor, you know what I'm saying? And just the countless amount of others. And it being one of those things to where it's like, damn, like, what the fuck is it gonna take? You know what I'm saying? For this shit to stop, essentially. And I had that moment where it was like, where's my energy going? Because I've been doing this work for over a decade, let alone like longer than that, right? As being a Black man, but it was like, shit, like, how much of this is about me? How much of this do I need to check my ego and kind of take a step back to say, okay, you falling for the okie doke. You're falling for exactly what the powers that be want you to do. They want you to be enraged off of something that might not really matter. Like the situation that happened with the Black man dying, that matters. All of these little frivolous conversations and the little, you know, people that are ignorant, that don't know what it's like to be a Black person, that have never experienced what you've experienced, why are you triggered by that shit? Why are you allowing that to get to you? And by eliminating that part of my ego, allowed me to reach like inner peace, to be like, oh, that shit doesn't bother me. And then it just expanded to other facets of my life to where it's just like, oh, I'm unbothered. I'm on like Prince's level of unbothered. Like, oh, this shit don't bother me. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the issues will always be the issues and I will speak up on it, but no longer am I going to try to put myself into into a situation or a circumstance to where it's like I'm trying to convince somebody that doesn't want to listen or doesn't want to see the same way that I see things. Or they don't want better for themselves. Why do I care about your health and you don't care about it yourself?
That part.
All right, so be it.
Yeah, it took me a long time to come to the realization, like, I can't care more than you do about you. Right? So like...
And that's still ego. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it is, because it's one of those, like, my sister is a prime example. I think that she excels at everything that she actually applies herself at. But she was in this like horrible relationship for 20 years. And a lot of those 20 years were very formidable years of her life, like late teen, 20s, and so on and so forth. And so like she was verbally, physically beat. I mean, just completely torn down. And so from that, she has zero self-esteem. And like, I'll tell her like, no, you can do X, Y, and Z. I believe in you. You should believe in you too. And so on and so forth. And finally, like, I just kept hitting my head against the wall. And thankfully she's gotten into therapy and stuff. So she understands. But at the same time, it's like, for her, there's fear and uncertainty and this feeling of unworthiness and so on and so forth that she needs to get over. And to your point, it's ego for me, because I'm like, I'm over it. Like, just fucking do what I'm telling you to do. Like, how hard is it? Meanwhile, she's over here struggling with other things. And so, you know, that's just, there's so many reasons why you can't care more than they care about bettering their lives. From ego to like, you don't understand that struggle because you're not who they are. But at the same time, like, yeah, you can see someone's potential and you can tell them you believe in them all day long, but you know, you shouldn't invest some of your energy, because eventually, like, that person, even if they're trying to shed that toxicity, it's going to come around and bite you in the butt too.
It's so crazy because, like, and it's not ironic that we're having this conversation, because even on my way to work today, getting on the freeway, there was an opportunity that I had to get off because I was getting ready to run into traffic, right? And it's literally how life is. It's like there's multiple roads that we can end up taking that are all that could lead us to different realities, right? Now, had I gotten off, it was the possibility that I could have gotten to work quicker, or maybe not. I probably would have ran into something else that I didn't see. But instead, I stayed on the path that I was on, got here safely and in an adequate amount of time to be able to not have to rush and all that kind of shit. But it's also like, damn, like there's so many other avenues that I could have taken to try to get to my destination. And although all of them were a possibility to become a reality, there's no guarantee that they would have been the right one.
Yeah.
Like, life is full of what ifs. Like, what if I would have done this? It's like, well, you wouldn't have gotten to the point to where you are now. And it's crazy because under that logic, kind of going back to your sister, right? It's like, it's easy to try to force somebody into changing a lifestyle, but then it's almost like, damn, are you altering their reality? Or what they see to be true? And it's like up to them to make that decision to want to change in order to get whatever results that they're seeking in this life.
Yeah. And going back to what I think is a great analogy of, you know, taking different roads, whatever, you also have to pay attention to the fact that regardless of what avenue you take, the destination is the same.
Same, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, you know, I don't remember where it was, but I heard somewhere where, like, one of the worst things that you can do is impose your ideas about someone's destiny on that other person, because you don't know ultimately what they are meant for, right? So you can't just sit there and try to push someone into what you think they need to do. They need to figure that out themselves. So, I mean, you may have an idea of, yes, I believe that this is what you should be doing, and you might be right. But at the end of the day, whether they listen to you or not, their destination is going to be the same. They'll get there. They'll eventually figure out what their path is supposed to be. But, you know, because that's what they were sent here to do. They have a life path. It's just a matter of, you know, how do they get there?
I think that's true. I heard that same. I heard that.
I think that's the one that was the biggest challenge for me to learn as being a coach, in terms of, because I had a couple athletes that I'm like, man, they've got all the potential in the world, and you know, like everything that we were doing training wise, like, you know, their technique was becoming spot on and that sort of thing. And, you know, get to, you know, the championships and like things just don't click. And I'm for that athlete, and I'm just like, man, everything was showing that it was on the path to greatness or whatever, but it didn't pan out, or it didn't click. You know, they didn't get to the destination that I thought they were headed for. And I was like looking back on myself, like, where did I drop the ball? What did I miss along the way as far as training is concerned? What did I forget to do or what have you? And I had an athlete point out, he's like, it wasn't anything you did. Just think about like what they may have done or not done along the way. Like, you know, it's not, because I think I was one time I was even like kind of liking it to like, dang, I must have some bad karma on me right now because I didn't get this athlete to the top like I projected. He's like, well, it's not your karma per se.
Yeah.
It could be theirs.
But it's also not your job to get them to the top. It's your job to get them as far as you can.
Right. and to show them the path that I feel would be their most successful path to their destination. But if that's not ultimately their destination, then it doesn't matter. As a coach, it doesn't matter what I do or what path I show them. Mm-hmm. They weren't supposed to be there to begin with, and that's what I had to learn and accept, so that I wasn't like coming down on myself as like, man, I failed as a coach or a mentor or whatever you want to call it. Like, and
their perceived failure could be what's meant to be a part of their path.
Right.
Like could be like that learning experience. Like, hey, look, you fucked up your work ethic, your whatever. This is why you didn't get to where you need to go. Lesson learned for next time. Or, you know, you didn't treat your body right. You didn't eat healthy and you didn't whatever. Lesson learned. Now you know better moving forward and pay attention.
Yep.
Kickback University.
Kickback University.
In a religious text, what I've learned, like the knowledge and wisdom that I've obtained, primarily from like the Bible, was basically the analogy of planting seeds, right? So it's like it's up to you to just plant it. You know what I mean? Some of the seed may fall on infertile ground. Some of it may fall on the perfect ground. Some of it may fall, you know, just by the wayside, you know, but it's just up to you to plant, you know, or your role may be to be the water, or your role may be the light, you know, or you may be the harvester. But at the end of the day, it's like your role is your role. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, if your obligation is just to plant the seed, you don't have to worry about watering and being the light as well. You know what I mean? It was just your goal and your destiny is to just deliver the information, deliver the training, deliver the knowledge, deliver whatever it may be, deliver that inspiration, you know, and then rely on whatever their journey is for them to find the water, the light, and the harvest. You know what I mean? And that's it's super powerful to not only understand that, but then to apply it to everyday life, because then I feel as though that helps you with eliminating that part of your ego that feels as though it's my responsibility to be all of those things to make sure that this person is perfect. Because even with children, it's like, it's just up to me to raise them in the direction that I see them going into, seeing their potential. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like generational curses have come because, you know, my parents, for example, have raised me to be what they always wanted to be, or what they've been programmed, right? So now here it is. I you know, have limited, you know, belief within myself, where I have insecurities that develop because I've been raised based on somebody else's standards versus them actually seeing me and what I'm potentially great at. Like, oh damn, like he talks back. Oh, you shouldn't do that. He gets a spanking versus, oh, he's an independent thinker. He has the potential to be a leader. Let's try to hone this skill set that he has, right? And be that water, you know what I'm saying? Be that light or whatever to help him to grow into whatever his destination is supposed to be. And so, yeah, I mean, it's amazing that clearly that the debate about GIF and GIF turned into it doesn't matter, which turned into a trigger that turned into this conversation.
Before you go there, when you were wrapping it up about your parents, it ultimately would be an ego thing, like you said, like ultimately.
Yeah, I mean this
devil's
everything happens for a reason.
It does. I believe that.
Everything happens for a reason. Because I oftentimes say, if I were to go back and I would live my life in eternity times over. Like if I reincarnated and came back as myself again and had to go through every heartbreak, disappointment, you know, all of the dissatisfaction, all of that all over again, I would do it for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
Like I lie to you not, because I'm all those things are necessary, regardless of if I wanted it to be or not.
Not only necessary, but like you know, I wouldn't want to roll the dice and live in someone else's life. Like I'm very happy and
I'm cool.
I'm good.
You know, I'm very happy and blessed with all my experiences. Like, you know, there was a couple of times where I'm like, man, that shit sucked, but I'll take that any day over like, you know, what I've seen some of the friends go through or like what other people have got. Like, nah.
Yeah, because even what can be perceived as being a better life, right, or a carefree life, it lacks happiness, it lacks peace, it lacks substance, it lacks the things that I appreciate in my life and the things that I've been capable of not only experiencing but seeing. So, yeah.
Facts.
I love y'all. This was great.
Yeah.
This was great. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. Welcome to a conversation.
Stupid.
I said, who knew peanut butter could be so deep?
Listen, but you know what's wild is that like we've had so many of these conversations off air. You know what I'm saying? Like that'll start off as something that may potentially be frivolous or whatever, right? Or it may start off with like a dumb joke that leads to deeper meaning and a larger understanding, you know what I'm saying? Which I feel everything has in life. And so I'm glad that, you that listening is able to not only observe this, but absorb this. So hopefully you're able to apply this to your everyday life. Hopefully you're able to not only just take this seed, or maybe it's the water of life and grow with it, but you know, hopefully you're able to also spread this energy and share with somebody else to either be their seed, their water, or their light. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right.
Anything else?
I think we've solved all the world's problems now.
There it is. Mm-hmm. There it is.
So,
all right. Well,
put that in your pipe and smoke it.
All right. I can't. I'm looking forward to taking my next flight. I'll tell you that. Like I've shout out to the app that I started to apply myself to. Has helped me to track down the herbals that I've been desiring to take me off to my cosmic travels, if you will.
I just hit up that green vegan and just said, send me what you got, because I know it's vegan. Listen. And like I know it's all natural and it's delicious.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
really
works.
Good. Yeah. Very well. Yeah. Shout out to the topical oils that'll take away any type of joint pain and all of that. And that green vegan.
It's syrup, right?
The syrup is fire too. Yo.
Lollipops, cookies, the topicals, pre-wraps.
Yeah, you got to put the syrup on some pancakes.
Listen, rest in peace to my father, who was a man of God for literally over half of his life, and had never done any type of medicinal, herbal, or anything, right? But I was able to share some of that green vegan's product with him, you know, before he transcended, you know what I'm saying? So, and he enjoyed it tremendously. So, yeah, it was,
That's fantastic.
Gave him some of that syrup, put some of the syrup that's in some liquid. And you know, he dealt with like joint pain and inflammation, and, you know, he had a stroke, but he took a couple sips, and by the time he got through most of it, he was like, "Oh yeah, this feels good." It's like, glad I was able to.
It's not on you; it's in you.
Yeah, it is.
I turned into Smokey from Friday. I was like, "Look, man, it's Friday. Your birthday is coming up. You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. Hey, I'm gonna get you high today." That I did. Until next time. Yeah, I go by the name of Files at WaveCapJohnny on everything. Follow us at the Kickback Show, and she goes by
Westside. Follow me on the Kickback Show. She is.
Tiana Giovanna, across the board on everything. I also recently dropped two new journals. So those are on Amazon. You can check those out. You can type in my name, Tiana Giovanna. You can type in Guidance for Grown Folks, because that's the series that I'm doing. Oh, B's got something. She got him.
Oh, I got some. No, I haven't gotten the other one yet.
Okay, I'll go get the other one.
Hold on, y'all.
Go get it.
Look at this, though.
See, there it is. So yeah, so I did
Let me flip it.
I did intention. It's right there in the, I did gratitude and intention. And then the other one is daily meditation diary. So yeah. Okay, Swivll got them for me. Here's the other one. So here they are, specifically for my sisters out there, specifically. So B showed you the inside of that one. So here is the inside of this one. Shameless plug. What?
Do that. And let them know where they can find it and pick it up at.
So you got the daily meditation, all of your writing prompts for the daytime, and then for the nighttime, you got your evening reflections. You got space to write your journal entry. So that's available. Yeah, just hit it up on Amazon. Guidance for Grown Folks, or type in Tiana Giovanna.
Yes.
Pop up, you find it. All right, and he is.
It don't matter. It doesn't really matter.
Swivll got things. Swivll got things.
Damn it, now we about to start this all over again.
Swivll, SWIVL on Instagram, DJ Swivll on Twitter.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
Raw Stream.
yeah, we brainstorming for season 3 of Raw Stream, so we'll keep everybody updated when that's about to re-kick off. So.
Yeah, we need to get that up. All right.
There it is.
Look forward to us live. We coming back. You know, the synergy gonna be back. The jokes gonna be on point. You know, it's gonna be back. Tiana, she hasn't grown, but we will all be together. And that love is bigger than all of us.
You know what?
Did y'all see that thing?
With that said, I wonder, should you have called it like Guidance for Little Grown Folks?
All right.
Little folks?
Growing.
Because
you got to give them hope. You got to still give them hope.
Did y'all see that dude that got that femur implant and he grew because they extended his thighs?
Oh, wow. I've heard it all.
Yeah. I'm going to go in the house because I'm not going to participate in the jokes on Tiana.
Thank you, Father.
Because it'll turn into a whole nother 30 minutes of, for another day.
I like it
for another day.
Guidance for growing folks. That's funny. Oh, it's good.
You know I'm going to get you back.
To have a whole full-ass, constructive-ass hour of conversation and then end it with lollipop kid jokes, it's just foul. It's
the Kickback show. Oh, everything.
That's all right. Next week is going to be my week.
The Kickback.
Kickback show, kickbackshow.com. Bye.
Peace.